Hello again and welcome back to the second to last edition of Raiders Men's Homes Hoops. With you as always, I'm Jake Danielson. Toby Hayner can't be here tonight. He's on vacation touring colleges. It's senior night, folks, so we got quite a different starting lineup coming at you. This face is familiar. Number 3, Jamie Worth, the captain, getting the start per usual. Getting the start in the other guard, Sammy J. Samuel Johnson, number 4. Another one of the Minutemen, Jordan Potting, 21, getting the start in the small forward area. Fourth man up, 22, Matt Schweckler. And the big man holding down the post, the man of my dreams, 35, Jackson Helmers. It's an all-senior starting lineup for the senior night, folks, and these Raiders hope to bring the veteran experience, take down the Eau Claire Memorial Abes. Starting lineup for the Abes appears to be Drake Schneider, number 2. Number 4, Ethan Van Grunsven. Number 23, Reese Meyer. Number 33, Cormac Sampson. And cannot tell if it's 25, Tyler Wessels. That's Wessels, Schneider, Van Grunzen, Sampson, and Meyer for the Abes. Tip goes right to the Abes. Sampson blew Helmers off the line. Ball being controlled by Schneider. Schneider to Van Grunsven. Now controlled by Meyer. Back to Schneider. Schneider surveys, kicks it down low to Wessels. Pass to Schneider, tipped away by Worth. Worth quickly up the court from a feed from Schweckler, and it's good. First points of the game go to Jamie Worth. Nice defensive start as the travel gets called against Schneider. Jordan Potting right in his face, and these Raiders are looking to make it a 4-point lead already. Jamie Worth with the inbounds, being guarded by Wessels. Long inbounds pass to Helmers. Helmers to Schweckler. Schweckler to Johnson. Johnson hands it off to Worth. He's still covered by Wessels. Over to Potting, quickly to Schweckler, swinging it around to the Raiders, down to Johnson. Johnson surveys, kicks it over to Worth. Worth catches the screen from Helmers, looks to go back low, can't find him, instead dishes off to Schweckler. Schweckler puts up the mid-range jumper, no good, off the back iron for Schweckler. Now up the floor is Wessels. Wessels off to Schneider, to Van Grunsven. Now over to Meyer. Now back to Van Grunsven. Over to Schneider. Schneider go by Worth. Now back to Van Grunsven, who fires a long 3 off the front iron, no good. Tipped away by Schneider and controlled by the Abes. Now over to Sampson. Sampson takes a look. Almost tipped away was Worth. Now in control is Meyer. Meyer unable to find room in this Raiders defense. Tipped away from Sampson and recovered by Potting. Potting almost got stolen. Said takes it in himself, off the glass and in! Jordan Potting! Early timeout by the Abes. The senior lineup getting it done for the Raiders. The bench is all kinds of fired up right now. As am I, folks, as am I. A raucous crowd tonight as the East Gym student section for the Raiders is almost full. No hockey game tonight. They'll return to action tomorrow, Saturday, in their playoff berth. A couple of keys to the Raiders' victory tonight. Theme of the night is defense, defense, defense. Once again, Dombrowski centering the focus on lackluster defense that has cost the Raiders in these last couple of games. They look to control the tempo with their defensive play, while also limiting to one shot. If they control the ball for most of this game, they hope that their offense will start clicking when it often has not. One big thing Dombrowski was stressing this week was communicate. I talked to him a little bit this week. Travel called on the Abes, but Dombrowski was telling me that their defense has been in position to make plays initially. What happens is a miscommunication here and there. It just frees up the open man to find the easy layup. Easy buckets are not what these Raiders are looking for tonight. They're hopefully trying to limit to one shot and limit that one shot and make it hard. Now controls Johnson for the Raiders. Johnson over to Helmers. Helmers finds Worth. Worth steps in, hands off to Potting, catches a moving screen. Mid-range jumper from Potting, no good. Up the floor, Schneider. Tipped away and stolen for the moment. Worth tipped it away right into what looked to be the waiting arms of Johnson. Could not corral the loose ball. There's a substitution being made. Looks like number 35, Caden Bozer, the freshman, stretch freshman. Tallest man on the floor right now is Bozer. He has been limited by injuries so far this season. The Abe's looking to make use of him so later half of the season. Strong defense draws a foul. Looks like it's going against Helmers for the Raiders. Ball into Schneider. Schneider over to Meyer, now to Bozer. Bozer tipped away by Worth for the moment, can't control. Worth has been all over the defensive floor tonight. Quick hands telegraphing these passes. Almost like he's got some mind reading powers. He's read the Aves book all night. The inbounds pass to Meyer was almost stolen away by Worth again. Now controlled by Schneider, back to Meyer. Meyer down low to Sampson. Sampson steps in, 2 Raiders in his face, kicks out to Schneider. Schneider thought about the 3, now kicks it to Bozer. Bozer's lethal, for his size, he's lethal from the 3-point range. Quite the dual threat player is Bozer. Now controls Meyer, over to Bozer. Bozer's got space. Instead kicks it off to Wessels, now controls Meyer. Meyer over to Schneider. Schneider down low to Bozer. Bozer now in control is Sampson. Sampson trying to step around Helmers, manages to. With a name like Sampson, it's hard not to think of the great Ralph Sampson, and that's certainly what he looks like, a big kid. It's Cormac Sampson. Certainly one of the biggest on the floor now that Bozer's there, probably second biggest, but he's gonna be a problem for the Raiders all night. A D1 football athlete, but he's no slouch on the court either. Control is Worth. Now off to Potting. Potting fires a 3, and it's good! Jordan Potting for 3, and this Raiders lead is 5 with 14:22 left to play. Wessel's no good for the Aves, now controlled by Bozer. Bozer takes a look out to Meyer. Meyer thought 3, instead kicks it off to Bozer. Bozer fires a 3, and it's good. The big man with range is a deadly combo, and Bozer certainly making it worth it. Now in control is Worth. Looks like Dombrowski's making the real substitutions right now as seniors are going to have to take a seat once again. They're going to make the most of it on this possession, though. Schweckler in control, down low to Helmers. Helmers looking to make a move on Sampson. Got him with a double dribble. Ball in control of the Aves. All right, full court substitution for the Raiders. Strong showing from the seniors. Got to give them a hand for that one. Coming in now is Hendricks, Barnard, Sam Gerard, Mitch Monson, and Thomas Newell. In control is Meyer. Meyer. Now over to Bozer. Bozer to Meyer. Meyer thought 3, instead kicks it off to Wessels. Wessels to Schneider, quickly over to Meyer. Meyer wide open for 3. No good. Controlled by Barnard. Now up the floor is Newell. Newell looking to make some room. Can't find it, and he kicks it off to Monson. Monson tried to step in, couldn't find any room on Bozer. Now with controls Hendricks. Hendricks to Monson. Monson can't find any room. Finds some room down low to Gerard. Gerard makes a move on Sampson, kicks it off to Newell. Now controls Hendricks. Hendricks down to Barnard. Finding some room is Thomas Newell, unable to finish, but followed up is Garrett Hendricks with a putback bucket. Meyer almost lost the handle. Being covered by Barnard now. Kicks it off to Bozer. Bozer over to Meyer. Meyer swings it to Wessels. Wessels to Schneider. Schneider over to Bozer. Bozer for 3, and he's good. Raiders must respect the 3-point play at Bozer as he'll punish them all night if left open. Now in control is Barnard. Barnard to Hendricks. Hendricks trying to find Gerard down low, can't. Kicks it off to Newell, now to Monson. Monson over to Barnard. Barnard goes baseline, finds Sampson in his face, but draws the foul. That'll send Barnard to the line for his first free throws of the night. A couple substitutions coming in right now. Appears to be Ethan Van Grunsven checking back into the game, as well as Mitchell Froelich. Yep, Froelich checking into the game for the first time as Van Grunsven checks back into the game. Student section trying to send Barnard some positive vibes. And he does. First free throw falls. Another key that Dombrowski was stressing this week was aggressiveness on both sides of the court. Aggressive defense leading to aggressive offense. The Raiders can't sit back and let Eau Claire dominate this game. They got to establish their presence early. So far, so good. It's a 11-8 lead currently. Stolen by Monson. Almost stolen back by Grunsven, but instead got the reach-in foul. 11-8 lead with 12-16 left in the first half as these Raiders are rolling quite early. A number of defensive plays that the Raiders have made so far have freed up their chances to miss on the offensive side. Monson trying to drive in, draws the foul. Looks like that one will be going against Bozer. And it will be going against Bozer. That'll be his first foul of the night. Monson will be sent to the line. Nice little roller in. That'll be Monson's first points of the night. Raiders looking to recover from a tough road stretch I mentioned earlier. They've not been able to find their mojo these past couple of games. It's the second one in and out for Monson. They're hoping that a home crowd and a decent opponent, but beatable opponent in Memorial will restore their winning ways as it controls Bozer. Now it's Meyer. Over to Froelich, now back to Bozer. Bozer to Van Grunsven. Almost lost my wording for there. Bozer open for three again. This time he misses off the front iron and out. Driving quickly is Newell. Can't find any space, kicks it back out to Monson. Monson open to the three for the moment, but quickly swat him is Bozer. Bozer's got the 6'7" size with the range of a guard. Truly a deadly dual threat player. Pass tipped and stolen by Cormac Sampson. Now in controls Van Grunsven, Ethan Van Grunsven to be specific. Now in controls Meyer. Meyer down low to Bozer, tipped away. Ball will stay with the Aves as Barnard got the steal. Checking into the game is Ethan Van Grunsven's brother, Elliot Van Grunsven, the junior brother of the freshman Ethan. He's going to replace Reese Meyer. Giving the inbound to Sampson. Sampson finds Bosmer. Now out to Van Grunsven. Check that Froelich. But driving is Sampson drawing the foul. That'll be Sam Gerard's first foul of the night. Sampson is undeterred by the screens from the student section. He knocks down his first free throw. Stone cold from the line so far is Sampson. Little referee timeout. They look to regroup. Ball's in the possession of the Raiders. 12-10 lead, 11-14 left. And the conference appears to be over. Monson with the inbounds pass. Dombrowski shouting a few instructions to his captains, Hendricks and Barnard. They have switched the foul. It's apparently going against Mitch Monson. Barnard will lead the Raiders on this drive, bringing it up the floor. Now over to Hendricks. Hendricks to Barnard. Barnard down low to Gerard. Gerard can't find any space. That's going to be a travel. Gerard a little off balance on that possession. Couldn't find anywhere to kick it out to and just ended up stumbling and turning it over. Now in possession is Van Grunsven. Check in possession. Yep, still Van Grunsven. Sorry, folks, thought I mixed it up, but I realized that 14 and 4 have the same last name. Now in control is Ethan. Ethan steps in, kicks it out to Froelich. Now over to Bosmer. Bosmer thought three, now drives baseline. Kicks it over to Van Grunsven. No good. A little ugly shot from Van Grunsven there. Quickly up the floor to Hendricks. Hendricks steps in. Little scoop layup. No good. Now with the rebound and put back is Sam Gerard. Gerard's first bucket of the night. Ethan Van Grunsven controlling, kicks it over to his brother Elliott. Elliott looking for Froelich, instead kicks it over to Bosmer. Bosmer almost lost the handle, now down to Froelich, now over to Ethan. Ethan being guarded by Newell, looking to find some space, can't, almost dribbled it out of bounds, over to Froelich, quickly over to Bosmer. Bosmer across the floor, telegraphed by Monson. Little freshman inexperience from Bosmer, easily picked off by Monson. Off the glass, no good. Controlled by Barnard after a tip from Hendricks. Innovative layup style from Barnard gets the bucket to fall. And controls Ethan, now over to Froelich. Froelich back to Ethan. Ethan to Bosmer. Bosmer taking a look, down low to Elliott. Elliott steps in on Gerard. Scoop layup, no good. Now controls Newell. Caught a foul from Bosmer. Studi's letting them have a piece of their mind. Foul will be going against Bosmer. Another big substitution as the seniors are checking back in. Johnson to Helmers, Schweckler, Potting, and Worth checking back in for the Hudson Raiders. Student section is alive tonight. I love seeing Raiders school shell out for their boys. Jamie Worth up the floor now, being covered by Wessels. Can't find room, instead finds Johnson. Johnson steps in, spins. Caught him with the travel. Tough call against Sammy J. Turns the ball right back over to the Eau Claire Old Ames. Ball into Schneider. Schneider surveys. He's over to Wessels. Wessels being trapped, finds a room out to Elliott. Elliott to Wessels. Almost stolen away is Schweckler. Got Schweckler with the reach-in foul. Check that with the body. Inbounds is going to be coming from Elliott Van Grunsven into Drake Schneider. Schneider over to Wessels. Wessels to Van Grunsven. Over to Drake Schneider. Schneider down low to Wessels. Almost stolen away by Potting. Looks like it'll be a little timeout called by the Memorial. Memorial got the timeout called. They'll keep possession. With a 16-10 lead so far, with just under 9 minutes left to play, the Raiders seem to be firing on all cylinders. Where they've had defensive struggles, they've been replaced by nice plays, which have freed up a nice little 6-point lead. Even when they haven't made plays on the offensive side, the defensive plays that they've been making so far have started to open up the room for error, margin of error, as they say. Memorial seems to be trying to work its offense almost entirely through Bosmer, whether he's making plays, making shots, or trying to drive. See if they continue to feed it right through him, or they'll turn to senior leadership from either Meyer or Wessels. As previously stated, ball remained with the Old Aves. Elliott Van Grunsven with the inbounds pass. Crisscrossing our Wessels and Meyer. Can't find any room. Stretches it out to Ethan Van Grunsven. Check that Froelich, Mitchell Froelich. Now Elliott finds Wessels. Wessels looks to make a move on Helmers. Off the glass and in is Wessels. Strong finish by Wessels. Jamie Ward looking to get those points back as he dribbles up the floor. Over to Helmers. Helmers looking to find Potting. Double covered is he. Now Johnson back down low to Helmers. Helmers stripped. Got him with the foul. It's going to be going against Schneider. Check that going against Meyer. Looked like he was flashing a two. Didn't wait for the three. That'll send Jackson Helmers to the line, looking to make his first free throws of the night. Always an interesting dynamic to see brothers playing on the same team. The 2-year gap is a familiar one for me as Helmers misses the first one. I myself played with my sophomore year-old brother. I'm a senior, so 2-year gap is maintained. We played on the same football team this year. He got decent minutes for a sophomore playing halfback. I was personally a big fan of playing with him. It was nice to have a friendly face on the team that I could always just turn to for a little bit of support. And it's just fun playing with your family. Inbounds Elliott to Froelich. Froelich over to Wessels. Wessel's trying to make a move around Johnson, kicks it back out to Froelich. Froelich over to Elliott. Elliott surveys. Raiders are playing a trap on both sides of the floor so far. As back out to Elliott, now over to Froelich. Froelich looking to find Schneider, can't. Back to Elliott. Elliott stepping in, looking to draw a foul. Looks like they might have gotten potting with that one. And they did. Jordan Potting with the foul. Ball remains with the Old Aves. Inbounds from Elliott. Can't find Schneider. Now finds Froelich. Froelich for three from the wing. And good. Memorial fans really liking that one. Still down by one, are they? 16-15 lead with 8 minutes left to go in the first half. Ball's almost tipped and stolen away by Worth, and he goes over and back. Ball turned back over to the Old Aves, who look to reclaim the lead. Elliott into Froelich. Froelich almost stolen away by Worth. Now back to Elliott. Elliott to Schneider. Schneider back to Elliott. Elliott to Meyer. Meyer. Elliott to Froelich. Can't find any room. A lot of back and forth from the Old Aves on this possession. Elliott to Froelich once again. Tries to make a move around Barnard. Check that. Schweckler. Now driving in is Wessels. Sent back by Sam Johnson. Not in this house, he says. Ball remains with the Old Aves, however, as Meyer awaits the inbound. Finds Wessels. Now to Schneider. Schneider looking to slow down the tempo, finds somebody open. Now is Elliott from the wing, and good. Well, they made it up in quick plays. The Raiders' perimeter defense still lacking. They've allowed 3 straight possessions of threes from my point of view. Now driving in is Schweckler, tries to put a spin on Froelich. Sam Johnson with a three of his own, no good, almost controlled by Potting. Over and back on him, ball goes back to the Old Aves. The Old Aves have taken the lead, 18-16 with 7 minutes left to play. And Dombrowski sends in his usual starters. In comes Barnard, Gerard, Hildebrand, and Hendricks. Worth remaining on the court. Looks like Sampson's going to be checking back in. He's going to replace Schneider for the Old Aves. Up the floor is Froelich, over to Meyer. Meyer can't find any room. Now finds Elliott from Froelich. Elliott having a hot night from the three-point range. They got to apply pressure to these two guards. Otherwise, these guards for the Old Aves, the backcourt is lethal, left open. Looks like the foul is going to be going against the Old Aves as Worth drove in. That'll be going against Wessels. Tyler Wessels with the foul. Jamie Worth on the line now. And good. First free throw falls from Jamie Worth. Looks like both parents and family members for each team have shelled out. Stadium's almost full right now as Worth knocks down the second. While it's senior night specifically directed for the Raiders, these last couple of regular season games are always parent night for both teams. Seniors from both teams are starting to play some of their last games. Ball stolen away by Worth. Off the glass and in, Jamie Worth finally rewarded for his defensive efforts. Closes the lead to 1. But parents are stressing to make each and every game count as seniors could be playing the last ones of their entire basketball careers. Now controlled by Elliott. Elliott stepping in, can't find room around Kaiser Hildebrand. Now stepping in is Meyer. Meyer fires from the elbow. No good, but foul going against. Looks like foul was going against Kaiser Hildebrand. No, shooting foul against Kaiser. I'll put Reese Meyer on the line, looking to take his first free throws of the night. And good. A little bit of love from his teammates on that one. It's interesting to see the comparisons between these two lineups for the Raiders. As Meyer no good on the second. 2-point game. While the presence of sophomores is always different, the Raiders have used a lot of seniors in both lineups. It's what you got to do when you got an abundance of them, as the Hudson Raiders do. Inbounds goes to Barnard. Barnard down low to Gerard. Gerard stepping in on Meyer. No good. Couple of hops and no good for Sam Gerard. Ball attempted to be saved by Wessels. Cannot. Kaiser Helterbrand awaits the inbound. He's covered by Sampson. Word on the street is that Sampson has a football scholarship going D1 to Northwestern. Heck, if I got in a scholarship to do anything at Northwestern, I'd probably end up there. That's a heck of a school, and congratulations to that young man. Ball stolen away by the Old A's as Wessels controls. We're going to step in on Hendricks. Now Meyer stepping in on Helterbrand. Got a little bit of a reach advantage, and he employs that to its extent. Meyer going right over the top of Kaiser. Stepping in is Hendricks, now off to Worth. Back to Hendricks. Hendricks to Gerard. Gerard takes a look. Now back to Worth. Worth to Gerard. Now to Kaiser Helterbrand with Sampson right in his face. Now Worth thought about the mid-range with Wessels. Draw a lot of contact, but unable to knock it home is Jamie Worth. No foul called either. Now in control is Elliot Van Grunsven. Down to Meyer. Meyer to Wessels. Now controlled by Froelich. Froelich to Sampson. Now quickly to Wessels down low. Appeared to be a clean swat, but either way sent back by Hendricks as Wessel goes to the line. Ethan Van Grunsven, another freshman, looking to check back in for the Old Aids as Thomas Newell looks to check back in for the Raiders. Senior 10 Thomas Newell, playing his second to last home game of his high school career. Interesting strategy from Wessels as he goes through the motions literally before he shoots a free throw. A lot of crowd love as Froelich exits the game. Such an interesting pre-shot ritual from Wessels. It works. Both are knocked down as Wessels got a lot of rituals. He always likes to squat before each defensive possession. Gets right down in there, but anywho, makes him cover Jamie Worth. Better work. Sam Gerard had an opening, instead kicks it off to Newell, who goes to Helterbrand. Helterbrand back to Gerard, over to Worth. Worth taking a look, taking his time. Now to Thomas Newell. Not a lot of movement on the Raiders. Foul going against Kaiser. Didn't get his feet set on the screen. Tripped up Van Grunsven. Another check in for the Raiders as Mitch Monson takes out Kaiser Helterbrand. What was a substantial lead for the Raiders has now evaporated and has instead been replaced by a 6-point lead for the Old Aids with 4:20 left to play in this game. Check that in the first half. Oh man, folks, feels like I've been here for hours. I'm just playing. Love doing this job. Now is Ethan Van Grunsven down low to Sampson. Sampson makes a move right around Gerard. Looked like he carried quite a little bit. Gerard thought so too. Points still count. Now in control is Thomas Newell. Newell trying to find Worth swinging. Can't. Kicks it off to Monson. Monson fires a three. And good. Mitch Monson. Ethan Van Grunsven, interesting strategy. The freshman running the floor for the Old A's right about now. Wessels, almost stolen away by Monson, frees up Meyer for a nice open shot, and he knocks it down. Risky plays lead to sometimes negative results, and the Raiders just got a nice little proof of that. Sampson tips it away from Gerard. Gerard takes a little bit of credit for that, saying that's my bad, bro. Ball remains with the Raiders. Worth with the inbounds pass. Now to Monson. Monson works right around, looking to catch a little bit of a screen from Gerard. Can't. Now about hands off to Worth. Worth on Monson streaking for a second. Now in control is Newell. Newell steps around the freshman. Can't. Finds Hendricks. Hendricks from mid-range. And good. Rattles it home. A slow, methodical pace so far from the Old A's. Quick to fire on a moment's notice. Stolen away for the moment, but foul called. That foul will be going against Garrett Hendricks. Substitution, sophomore Jacob Dalton, number 20, looks to come into the game for the Raiders. As Wessels awaits on the line, being serenaded for his unique motion by the student section. And good. Wessels is 3 for 3 tonight. Hendricks is going to be taking a seat. Dombrowski not liking the early fouls. As we await Wessels' 20-year motion. Talk about the weather. It was a rather nice day out today. Had my windows down, blasted some nice music as Wessels knocks down the second. And there's the squad on defense as Worth steps in on him. Dalton over to Newell. Newell trying to make a move on Ethan Van Grunsven, finds help. Stepping in is Gerard, draws the foul. That foul looks to be going against Wessels. Tyler Wessels with the foul. Check that. Going to be going against Elliot Van Grunsven, junior. Sammy G. Buckets, as he's affectionately known, awaits on the stripe. I do not have presently if he's had an attempt, but he has not made a free throw tonight. Looking to reverse those fortunes on this next shot. Ugly showing from the stripe by Gerard. Undershot both. Now in control is Ethan. Ethan and Elliott running the floor for the Old A's, complemented by Wessels, Meyer, and Sampson. Sampson out of the stripe. Now to Wessels. Down low to Meyer. Meyer from the elbow again. And good. Meyer's been absolutely deadly from mid-range right now. He's revitalized the mid-range jumper, as they say. Thomas Newell kicks it out to Worth, wide open on the wing. And good, Jamie Worth. Jamie Worth has splashed down in this game. That is his 9th point, one away from a double-digit night from Jamie Worth. Elliot Van Grunsven takes a look, kicks it off to Meyer. Meyer down low to Sampson, looking to find room. No good, but recovers his own rebound. Lacks effort on the defensive glass, as Sampson is an offensive glass maniac. If there's an offensive rebound to be had, he's sure to be in the area. Foul going against the A's. That one will be going against Sampson. That'll put Gerard back on the line. Looking to reverse the fortunes from his earlier shots. Short once again. Sam Gerard's got to figure it out. Looks like everybody was confused that that one was a 1-and-1, but either way, Ethan Van Grunsven in control for the Apes. Now off to Wessels. Wessels finds Elliott. Elliott takes the screen from his brother, kicks it off to Meyer. Meyer thought about stepping in, instead kicks it off to Wessels. Wessels makes a move around Dalton. Draws the foul. A lot of contact from Jacob Dalton, and it cost him. Wessels back on the line. So Ethan looks to get a little bit of instruction from his head coach, Greg Van Grunsven. Well, that's an interesting duo. I didn't even notice that before the game. Looks like Ethan's dad is the head coach. Ethan and Elliott both playing for their father. And good as Wessels. I mentioned playing with my brother earlier, but I'm not sure if I could play a whole lot of sports for my father. That's too many family members in a teamed environment. That's a lot of stress both on the field and at home, if you know what I'm saying. Jamie Worth up the floor. As Wessels knocked down the second, I forgot to mention. Well, the Raiders' strong showing initially has all but abandoned them as Dalton's no good. A 38-28 10-point lead with a minute left in the first half. Ethan up the floor, kicks it off to Meyer. Meyer trying to find Wessels, instead he finds Elliott. Wessels, check the Elliott back over to Meyer. Almost lost it for a second, recovers. Steps in on Worth, loses the handle, ball in control of the Raiders. Jamie Worth has been a defensive specialist tonight, normally offensive-minded player. He's made some great defensive plays, and they've resulted in sometimes points for the Raiders, and that's what they need. They need defensive stops and turning into points. Thought about streaking Newell with Gerard, but instead kicks it off to Monson. Monson from three-point range. Now takes it. No good. Almost controlled by Dalton. Tipped away, controlled by Gerard. Raiders have been tenacious on their offensive zone. They need to find that same tenacity on the defensive glass. Too many second point chances for the Old A's have resulted in points. Jamie Worth steps in, kicks it off to Newell. Newell drives baseline on Sampson, tries to find Gerard, can't, tipped away by Elliott. 14 seconds left in the first half. Raiders in control, Worth with the inbounds pass. Interesting to see what Dombrowski has planned for this kind of situation. Into Newell. Newell all but keen to take the final possession of the night as he kicks off to Monson. Monson looking to make a move on Meyer, almost crossed him up, steps in, mid-range jumper. No good. 4 seconds left for the A's. Foul. There's a foul called on Sampson. Yes, foul will be going against Sampson for the Old A's. Thomas Newell in control. 3 seconds, still enough time to find a shot. They're looking to free up Jamie Worth. Jamie Worth steps in, puts up a moving jumper, no good. And that'll do it for the first half. Monson wanted a call, but couldn't find it for his buddy. 38-28, 10-point lead of the Old A's holds true going into the halftime. Dombrowski is probably looking to find that same spark that the team had initially riding the senior night high. When he substituted guys, it seems like the spark kind of died with players like Helterbrand and Dalton. He might look back to his senior lineup as when Worth's making defensive stops, it's opened up the floor for these energized seniors to make plays on the offensive side. Well, I'll leave you for the first half. I'll rejoin you in the second. Hello and welcome back to the second half of the Raiders Evening Hoops. Tonight the Raiders are taking on Eau Claire Memorial Old A's and find themselves at a 28-38 deficit. As the ball tried to be kept in by Sampson, turns it back over to the Raiders. Old A's had the start for the second half, but found themselves with an empty possession right there. The Raiders looking to climb out of this 10-point hole. Ball to Barnard. Now over to Worth, hands off to Hendricks. Hendricks down low to Kaiser Helterbrand. Helterbrand kicks it out to Barnard. Barnard thought three, instead drives in, steps, kicks it over to Hendricks. Hendricks puts up a jumper, no good, sent back by Meyer. Out the floor is Drake Schneider. Tries to make a move on Barnard, succeeds. Now out to Elliott. Elliott fires. No good for three-point range for Elliott Van Runsven. Stepping in is Meyer, looking to draw some contact, and does. That foul looks to be going against Matt Barnard. Applied the majority of the contact. And it does. I'll send Reese Meyer to the line. No good. The final screech from the student section had him quaking in his boots, I assume. Either way, he's off the mark. Second and 2. Sorry, the student section's cracking me up, folks. Second and 2 is good for Meyer. The lead descends to 11. Garrett Hendricks kicks over to Sam Gerard, trying to find Kaiser swinging, can't. Now over to Gerard again from Barnard. Barnard thought to Kaiser. Now long pass over to Jamie, almost over his head. Jamie Worth over to Hendricks. Garrett taking a look. Over to Kaiser Helterbrand. Now to Jamie Worth. Down low to Barnard. Barnard over to Garrett. Garrett fakes the mid-range, steps in for a little bit closer, off the front iron, no good. Stepping back in is Gerard with a lot of contact, draws the foul. Tough to say who that one went against. Looks like it went against Reese Meyer. Raiders trying to send Sammy G. Bucket some good vibes on the free throw line. He's had a struggled tonight. It's kind of hard to watch, folks, but Sam approaches for a second. And good. Sam finishes strong on that showing. Lead back down to 10. Drake Schneider up the floor, covered by Matt Barnard. Hands off to Meyer. Back to Schneider. Schneider thought about three, steps in. High off the glass, no good. Recovered by Schneider himself. Hands off to Sampson. Sampson, no good. Now off the floor is Worth. Worth down low to Helterbrand, trying to make a move on Sampson. Initially gets around the big body, forces the foul. All of a sudden, Kaiser to the line. We got a new face checking in for the Eau Claire Memorial Old Abe's. Kaiser knocks down the first of two. Nathan Howe, 6'4" sophomore, steps into the game replacing Sampson. Miss, recovered by Gerard, no good on the putback attempt. Schneider up to Wessels. Wessels can't get around Hildebrand, hands it off to Meyer, who fires from the mid-range, no good for once. Meyer's having a strong night from that area, but couldn't get that one to fall. Stepping in is Jamie Worth, hands off to Kaiser. Kaiser back to Worth. Worth finds Gerard, covered by Howe. Gerard spins, puts up a hook shot, no good. Barnard with the putback. Little bit of acrobatics from Matt Barnard, and that one will fall. In control now is Meyer. Meyer to Wessels. Wessels down to Howe. Back out to Wessels. Wessels for three. No good. Ball recovered by Howe, but stolen away by Barnard. Handed off to Hildebrand. They got a 3-on-2. Worth up with Elliott Van Grunsven in coverage, and good. Jamie Worth. That'll put Jamie Worth in double digits, his 11th bucket of the night. At 11 points. Looks like his 4th bucket with 2 free throws. Got a nice little shout out from my boys in the student section. I know we won't watch it, but if anybody out there knows Logan Nelson, I'd give him a shout out for being a nice guy. Dombrowski's liking the comeback so far. From what I can tell, he hasn't lost his mind yet, but the Raiders' efforts on defense are once again rewarding them on offense. A couple of misses here and there from the perimeter, and all of a sudden the Raiders are back within 5. What the Old Abe's need to do is attempt to slow down the Raiders' fast-paced offense. As time has proven, it's not that easy. Floor stays the same for the Raiders. Hendricks, Worth, Gerard, Hildebrand, and Barnard. It's the floor for the Old Abe Memorials. I just said the Old Abe Memorials. The Memorial Old Abe's, I apologize, folks. A little bit of a mix-up there. It's Bozer checking back in with Wessels, Ethan Van Grunsven, Elliott Van Grunsven, and Sampson, Cormac Sampson. Down low to Sampson from Elliott. Tries to make a move, and one from Sampson. Bigger body drawing the foul from Gerard. Sampson looks to complete the three-point play. Refs having a little bit of a word with Gerard. Is a little bit of a disbelief after that call. Was not what the referees are looking for. And he completes the three-point play. Sampson's a talented athlete. Worth back up the floor. Now hands off to Barnard. Barnard trying to find Gerard down low. Instead, in control is Hendricks. Hendricks takes it over to Worth. Worth finds space, fires a three. No good. Rebound unable to be recovered by the Raiders. Off a couple of players. Referees say last touch by Barnard. Barnard doesn't like it. Referees are having a word with each other. Looked like it bounced off Barnard, then Ethan Van Grunsven. Majority of the crowd agrees, and it goes back to the Raiders. Referees have corrected their decision. Ball went off Van Grunsven last. Jamie Worth with the inbounds. Studi's liking that call. Quickly into Hildebrand, almost stolen away, out to Barnard. Barnard kicks it out to Sam Gerard, thought about three and said down low in control is Hildebrand. Hildebrand hands off to Gerard. Gerard tries a three, and good! Sammy G. Buckets is feeling it tonight. That's the biggest man I've seen make a three on the Raiders all season. Down low to Sampson. Stolen away by Barnard, but stolen back away by Wessels for the moment. Ball's going to stay with the Raiders. Looks like Barnard will give the inbound. Substitution being made. Barnard checking back out, instead being replaced by Newell. Inbounds goes to Jamie. Jamie hands off to Kaiser. Hildebrand catches a screen from Gerard for the moment. Now Gerard gets the ball back. Tries to find Worth swinging, instead hands it back out to Newell. Newell hands off to Worth. Worth steps in on Wessels. Almost loses the handle. Wild shot with a lot of contact, no good. Ugly shot from Jamie Worth. Gotta take smarter choices than that. Empty possession once again for the Raiders. Van Grunsven over to Wessels. Wessels out to Bosmer. Bozer. Down low Sampson. Sampson, no good from 2 feet out. Hook shot by Bozer, no good. Third chance shot for Van Grunsven, and good. Too many chances in the defensive zone. These Raiders are giving the old Abe's. Jamie Worth up the floor. Hands off to Hildebrand. Hildebrand directing traffic, finds Gerard in a little pocket. Steps back on Bowser, trying to draw the foul, and does. Strong finish to the rack by Sammy G. Puts himself on the line, looking to correct his earlier free throw woes. That's going to be Bozer's third personal. Good vibes always from the studio. Sammy G with the first. And good. Knock on wood, but Sam Gerard has seemed to have recovered from his earlier showing, and his motion just had him coming up a few inches short. Second is good as well. The motion correction has paid off for Sam as he knocks down 2 of 2. Up the floor is Ethan, hands off to Bozer. Bozer over to Meyer. Meyer being covered by Newell, hands back to Ethan. Ethan now to Wessels. Wessels steps in on Hildebrand, finds a pocket. No good, recovered by Sampson. Sampson now reaching the Raiders. Wide open is Van Grunsven. Off the back iron and no good. Kaiser's the first one there. Foul called on Bozer. That's going to be his fourth. And that's going to be Van Grunsven looking to the bench to replace him with his son, Elliott. Greg replacing Bozer. And Ethan with Elliott and Mitchell Froelich. Inbounds from Kaiser to Jamie. Jamie hands right back to Kaiser. Kaiser to Garrett Hendricks. Jamie drives baseline, not finding any room. Almost turns it over, but recovered by Hendricks. Hendricks is going to make a move on Elliott. Instead, hands off to Gerard. Gerard over to Newell. Newell over to Jamie Worth. Now down low to Kaiser. Kaiser goes baseline. Can't find any space. Recovered by Thomas for the moment, but now in the possession of Sampson and the Old Abe's. Looks like they might credit Newell with the turnover as he was the last one to touch it, but looks like Kaiser's pass to Hendricks was the one that put the ball on the floor. Now controls Froelich. Froelich over to Elliott, now to Sampson. Sampson to Wessels. Wessels looking to find Meyer down low, does. Meyer on Newell. Hits nothing but air as the ball's got a conflicting decision. But the one-line judge saw it better. That ball's gonna go with the Old Abe's. It's a 50-50 chance that the ball is gonna stay with the Raiders there, but looks like Meyer's gonna inbound it. Meyer does to Elliott. Elliott to Froelich. Froelich to Meyer, almost stolen away by Newell. Now in control is Reese Meyer, who awaits the inbounds pass. Hands it into Froelich. Now over to Wessels, now to Elliott. Elliott fires a three. No good, recovered by Jamie Worth. Jamie Worth with the rebound. He dishes it over to Thomas Newell. Thomas Newell trying to make a move on it. Froelich can't, instead hands it to Hildebrand, who gets it Sam Gerard. Sam Gerard across the floor to Hendricks. Hendricks picked and stolen by Sampson. Big man's got hands, as they say, as Sampson stole it away from the much quicker Hendricks. Now controls Wessels. Wessels catches a screen from Sampson, finds some space, now hands off to Freilich. Freilich trying to go down low to Sampson, does. Almost stolen away. Swatted by Thomas Newell. Still in control of Sampson, can't get the bounce. And that'll be a foul against Sampson as he tries to get his own rebound. Jamie Worth will maintain control. Couple of substitutions for the Raiders. Thomas Newell is going to be replaced by Jacob Dalton. And Kaiser Helterbrand is going to be replaced by Mitch Monson. Inbounds to Dalton, right back to Worth. Squatting once again is Wessels. Jamie Worth from mid-range, no good. Had a nice open look, but couldn't get it to fall as Worth. Almost stolen away. Jamie Worth's got some lightning hands on the defensive side of the ball. Elliot Van Grunsven, inbounding. Finds Sampson. Sampson hands it off to Freilich. Freilich looking to make work on Jamie Worth. Stolen away once again by Worth. This one stays in bounds. Worth's wide open. And good. Looked like he was thinking about the jam, but instead picked the safer play. Now in control is Elliott. Down low to Sampson. Hot pass to Sampson. Out to Wessels. Wessels from mid-range. No good. Controlled by Garrett Hendricks. 44-41 play. Raiders in possession. Jacob Dalton. No good. Controlled by Hendricks. Out to Worth. Worth almost lost the handle. Does lose the handle for a second. Out to Gerard. Gerard fakes three and drives on Sampson. Gerard steps in and good. Sam Gerard is fired up. 44-43 lead, 10 minutes left to go in the game. Old Abe's still up by 1, but these Raiders are streaking. Elliott to Freilich, and now over to Meyer. Meyer steps in, finds a nice little space, and one. Carving himself a seam and looking to make it a three-point play is Meyer. Reese Meyer. Barnard's going to be checking back into the game. He's going to replace Jamie Worth. Dombrowski looking to give his captain and leading scorer a rest. Jamie Worth sitting at 14 right now. And good, three-point play complete. Drake Schneider checking back in for the Old Abe's. He's going to replace Sampson. Another substitution. Kaiser Helterbrand checks back in, replacing Sam Gerard. Looking to give his pseudo big man a rest also as Dombrowski. We await a bit of a reset. Inbounds from Hendricks to Barnard. Barnard's going to run the floor. Quickly over to Dalton. Dalton down low to Helterbrand. Helterbrand making work on Meyer. No good. Tipped around a little bit. Recovered by Barnard. Barnard keeps it in right to Freilich. Freilich double teamed. Finds a space between Helterbrand and Barnard. Finds his own space. Hands it off to Meyer. Freilich for three. And good. Garrett Hendricks spins. No good. Couple of empty possessions and the lead is back to 7 for Old Abe's. Trey Snyder over to Wessels. Wessels down low to Meyer. Meyer's lethal with a hand in his face. Fadeaway. No good, but draws a foul. Shooting foul going against Kaiser Helterbrand. That'll bring Sam Gerard right back onto the floor. Meyer gets the first to go. From mid-range and free throws, he's been pretty good all night. Sampson's going to replace Wessels. Tyler Wessels takes a seat, replaced by Cormac Sampson. Meyer waits a second or two. No good, but recovered by Sampson with 4 Raiders in his face, stolen away. I'm not sure who the foul is against. Looks like it's going to go against Cormac Sampson. Jamie Worth checks back into the game, replacing Mitch Monson. Inbounds goes to Barnard, right back to Worth. Worth's going to run the floor for the Raiders. Squatting once again is Wessels. Jamie Worth finds a little space, but swallowed up quickly. Now out to Hendricks, over to Dalton. Dalton steps in, hands off to Hendricks. Hendricks down low to Gerard. Gerard steps out to the wing. Finding Barnard swinging is Gerard. Barnard steps in. Nice little move by Barnard, and he's good. Up the floor is Schneider. Drake Schneider running the Old Abe's show. Wessels is streaking, can't find him. Over to Elliott, now down low to Myers. Myers making a move off the glass and in. A little two-hand finish from Reese Meyer. Back down the floor quickly is Garrett Hendricks, no good. Recovered by Gerard. Over the back is Meyer. Oh, they're giving the foul to Elliot Van Grunsven. My apologies, folks. That'll put Gerard back on the line. Looking to continue his hot streak from the free throw line, knock on wood. No good. First half woes returning for Gerard on that one. Off the front iron, no good. I'll send him a little good vibes of my own. Come on, Sammy. And good. Sammy G shrinks the Old Abe's lead back down to 7, 53-46 game with 8 minutes left to go in the second half and game. Now controls Freilich as the Raiders try to trap him. Stolen away initially, but now appears to be in control of Freilich. Looks to be a jump ball. In control of the Raiders. Jamie Worth awaits the inbound. Nice trap set up by the Raiders. Barnard and Worth on that defensive stop. Ball into Barnard. Barnard covered by Freilich, now over to Hendricks. Hendricks trying to find Gerard, but he's covered heavily by Meyer. Over to Dalton now. Now to Jamie Worth, back over to Barnard. Barnard quickly down low to Hendricks. Hendricks looking to make a move, sent back by Meyer. Up the floor, Schneider. Schneider looking to make a move on Dalton. And not one, but the foul is called on Jacob Dalton. Drake Schneider with his first of two. No good. Rattles it a little bit. No good from Drake Schneider. No substitutions to be made here. And good. Drake Schneider gets the second to fall. Dombrowski wants a little time to regroup. 54-46, 8-point lead. 7:39 left to go in the game. What looked to be a little pocket of hot shooting, which closed the lead down to 3, has now receded back to an 8-point deficit for the Hudson Raiders. Dombrowski must be emphasizing defense once again. The Raiders, when their defense has come up big, it's when they've put points on the board. Defensive stops have been leading to points nonstop. The Raiders aren't good enough offensively to keep streaks going alive with these Big Rivers Conference opponents, especially the finishing power of Sampson and Bozer. These boys need is a spark and a couple quick stops on defense, and they'll be right back in it, ready and able to make mistakes again. Right now, mistakes would be deadly. Timeout ends. Dombrowski and Jason Swavely having a little word. Jason Swavely, assistant, JV coach. Dombrowski's assistant, the head JV coach. Former head coach of the Hudson Raiders, stepped down to JV to focus on spending more time with his family. Got to respect that. Jason Swavely is also a phenomenal psychology teacher. Just want to give him a nice little shout out. Ball in the possession of the Raiders. Looks like Hendricks awaits the inbounds pass. Jamie Worth waits to receive it. And that he will. Jamie Worth up the floor now. Over to Barnard. Barnard back to Worth. Worth over to Hendricks. Hendricks got some space initially, but closed quickly by Elliot Van Grunsven. Over to Jamie, down low to Sammy G. Sammy G out to Hendricks. Hendricks steps in, hands off to Jamie Worth. Jamie Worth for 2, and good. Six-point lead now for the Old Abes as Schneider steps back up. Finds Van Grunsven. Elliott over to Freilich. Froelich over to Elliott. Elliott thought about Wessels. Now over to Wessels from Froelich. Froelich, nice little float pass into Meyer, and it's good. Jamie Worth stepping in. Off the glass and in. A long finish by Jamie. He's putting the team on his back, looking to make up the 6-point deficit by himself. Jamie Worth with scoring the Raiders' last 4 points. Over to Froelich. Check that, Van Grunsven now to Froelich. Froelich down to Van Grunsven. Elliott steps in, knocked away, but the foul was called. Barnard not liking that one. Looked like he caught a lot of ball right there. That'll send Elliott Van Grunsven to the line. A junior brother, a starting shooting guard, Ethan Van Grunsven. No good off the front. 3 substitutions coming in for the Raiders, 1 for the Old A's. Checking out is Gerard, Dalton, and Barnard. Checking in is Kaiser Helterbrand, Mitch Monson, and Thomas Newell. Looks like Bozer's going to be checking back into the game with 4 fouls to his name. Caden Bozer, the freshman, 6'7". Dual threat forward. Both are no good. Empty possession for the Old A's. Jamie Worth up the floor. Over to Monson. Monson to Newell. Newell's got space. Instead kicks it over to Hendricks, who finds Worth. Worth back to Hendricks, back over to Helterbrand. Helterbrand trying to find Worth swinging, can't. Finds Monson instead. Monson steps back, makes a move on Drake Schneider. Off the glass and in. No diving will be tolerated here as Froelich hit the floor looking for a foul. Froelich now in control on the offensive side. Over to Wessels. Wessels down low to Meyer. Stolen away, picked off by Kaiser Helterbrand. Kaiser Helterbrand sent back, but they got the foul. Send Kaiser to the line with a 4-point deficit, looking to make it 2. That's going against Reese Meyer, 23 for the Old A's. No good off the back iron for Kaiser. Kaiser waits a second, looking to make it a 1-possession game. And does. 3-point, 1-possession game. Into Wessels, finds a space around Newell. Now back to Schneider. Almost lost the handle, but recovers. Drake Schneider stepping in. Over to Froelich for 3, no good. Almost recovered, does recover to Bozer. Bozer out to Froelich. Froelich to Meyer. Meyer stepping in on Hendricks. No good, recovered by Helterbrand and Monson. Monson quickly up to Hendricks. Hendricks to Jamie Worth. Jamie Worth thought about going to Newell, now Hendricks does. Stepping in is Thomas. Thomas fade away off the glass, no good. Bank is closed for Thomas Newell. Still a 3-possession game, just under 5 minutes, 56-53, Old A's lead. Quickly down low is Meyer from Bozer. Stolen away by Jamie, unable to be recovered, and commits the foul. That one's gonna go against Froelich. I disagree with that one, folks. I don't know about that one, folks. That one's going to put Froelich on the line. That's not what you need. It's a questionable call. Re-energized Sudi's letting Froelich hear it, though. First of the 1-and-1 is out. Ball back in the hands of the Raiders. Kaiser Helterbrand, 3-point deficit. Now to Worth. Jamie makes a step over to Thomas Newell. Now to Mitch Monson. Monson trying to find somebody, anybody. Now finds Thomas Newell. Over to Jamie Worth. Jamie Worth covered by Wessels. Wessels being stepped around by Worth. Almost stolen by Schneider. Recovered by Monson. Monson over to Hendricks. Hendricks thought about it. Now to Jamie Worth. Down low to Kaiser Helterbrand. Hildebrand lost the handle, turns the ball back over to the Old A's. Cormac Sampson checks back into the game, replaces Drake Schneider. Sam Gerard checks back into the game, replaces Mitch Monson. A couple of 33s checking back into the game. Ball into Wessels. Raiders looking to apply the trap. Can't. Wessels found some room, almost lost the handle. Now it's Bosmer. Bosmer fires a three. I say Bosmer, I mean Bozer, coach. Caden Bozer. Couple of fouls being called, not called against the Raiders. Sam Gerard is fired up. Looks like Freilich was getting right underneath him. These refs are willing to turn a blind eye to anything committed against somebody in a white jersey. It's a tough job, but man, they're not making it easy on themselves. Ball in the possession of the Old A's. Almost stolen away as Wessels blows by Worth. Foul called against Sam Gerard. That'll put Wessels on the line. Just under 4 minutes left to go. Still the 3-point lead. Wessels with his unique style. And good. 2-possession game now. Wessels practices and fires for real, and the second is good. Got to give credit where credit is due. With his unique motion aside, Wessels is a pretty lights out free throw shooter. Ball in control with Worth. Down low quickly to Gerard. Gerard trying to step around. Meyer does off the glass and good. Making up for the no call is Sammy G as he gets that one to fall. 3-point game, 3:33 left to go. Meyer being double teamed, finds Freilich. Freilich found a little lax. Wessels thought three. Now down low is Sampson, unable to be controlled by Worth, controlled by Freilich. Now it's a Bozer. Bozer to Meyer. Meyer thought three, instead steps in, spins on Hildebrand. No good, kicks it down to Sampson. And they got him with the travel. That's a makeup call if I've ever seen one. Sampson gets called with the travel. Three-point game, turns the ball back over to the Raiders. Jamie Worth taking his time, catches the screen from Hendricks, drives in, looks to kick it right back out to Hendricks. Hendricks with Bozer's hand in his face, steps in, fires a mid-range jumper, and good. Garrett Hendricks feeling it. Starting to come alive in the second half. Wessels for the Old A's, down low to Sampson. Sampson steps in on Gerard, off the glass and in. Nice finish by Sampson. Now Jamie Worth in control, 2:30 left to go. Kaiser hands off to Jamie as he drives in and draws the foul. Jamie draws a foul on that hard drive to the rack. That one's going to go against Wessels. Tyler Wessels with the foul. All silent here in the East Gym as Jamie Worth waits for the first and knocks it down. This is clutch time, folks, and Jamie Worth looks to make it a one-point game. He succeeds. Jamie Worth knocks down both of his two. Freilich now in control, trying to draw the foul against Hildebrand. Cannot. Tries to make a move on Worth. Cannot. Hands it off to Meyer. Meyer taking his time. Now hands off to Bozer. Bozer covered by Hendricks. Hands off to Meyer. Meyer off the glass and good. Funky little shot by Meyer. Still a 3-point game. 2 minutes left, 62-59. Hendricks thought three, instead steps in. Thinks mid-range. Kicks it down to Gerard. Gerard looking to make a move on Meyer. Kicks it out to Kaiser. Kaiser for three. And good! Kaiser Hildebrand splashing down. 62 all, 140 left to go. Timeout called by the Old A's as Meyer looked to be almost trapped. These boys have battled back hard as the Raiders have tied the game with 1:34 left to go. Ball controlled by the Old Abe's, but man, oh man, if the Raiders can get a quick stop on defense here, get the possession back, maybe take the lead, that would be something else. That would certainly be the ideal situation. Dombrowski's going to start looking to the veteran instincts of his team here. A lot of years accumulated by these boys, and they've been in situations similar to this one before, even as recent as last week against Menominee. What they need to do now is remain calm, remain who they are as Raiders, and finish this game strong. Timeout ends. Both teams re-enter the floor. Van Grunsven looking to make full use of this timeout as with the offensive possession. Why wouldn't you? Jason Swavely, assistant coach, having a word with Sam Gerard about how to handle this stop. Floor for the Raiders is Gerard, Worth, Hendricks, Hildebrand, and Newell. While the floor for the Old A's is Freilich, Wessels, Sampson, Bozer, and Meyer. Both Van Grunsven brothers taking a seat. Inbounds from Meyer. Out to Freilich. Freilich with 1:30 and counting. Freilich over to Wessels. Wessels takes a look, tries to step in on Newell, hands it off to Sampson. Sampson with the scoop. No good. No good. Ball controlled by the Raiders. Jamie Worth going to take his time now. 1 minute, 18 seconds left. Ball in the hands of the Raiders. This one's getting intense, folks. Garrett Hendricks stepping in on Freilich. Hands it off to Sam Gerard. Kicks it out to Hildebrand, whether intentionally or not. Over to Newell. Newell out to Gerard. Gerard to Worth. Worth kicks it over to Hildebrand. Hildebrand steps in. Almost got trapped. Instead, kicks it out to Hendricks. Newell steps in, kicks it over to Jamie Worth. Jamie Worth fires and draws the foul. Foul call against Tyler Wessels. Craig Van Grunsven not liking that one. Jamie Worth on the line looking to take the lead. First one falls for Jamie. Man, if you think you got a barn burner last week with Menominee, folks, you're in for another treat really soon. Oh, man, under a minute left, 52.1 seconds left. 63-62 lead. Jamie Worth still with one free throw to go. Drake Snyder checks back into the game, replacing Freilich. Knocking down the second is Jamie. 2-point lead for the Raiders. Schneider up the court for the Old Abe's. Now Wessels over to Bozer. Bozer stepping in on Hendricks. Now Wessels stepping in on Barnard, and good. A little finger roll action from Wessels. And he gets that one to fall. Hildebrand in control. Down to stolen away, but recovered by Hildebrand. Timeout called by Noah Dombrowski. He wants to reset after what could have been a catastrophic turn of events. Sam Gerard was almost stolen by Cormac Sampson. Oh, doggy, 22.2 seconds left to go. 64-64. We got a tie ball game. Oh, boy. Used all my barn burning jokes last week, folks. I didn't expect to see such a good game here. Oh, doggy, I'm still trying to figure this one out, folks. By this, I mean how to call an intense game like this. But all I can say is just reiterate the veteran instincts necessity for the Raiders. What almost cost them was just a couple of rookie mistakes. Gerard not really paying attention to the defender in his face. Need to recover, take their time, take a breath, try to take the last shot. Unless something's wide open, I would keep possession for as long as possible. Dombrowski huddles his boys and sends them back out to the court. Oh, Nelly. Hildebrand awaits the inbound. Hildebrand awaits the inbound. Hands it off to Gerard. Gerard with the hook. Off the glass, no good. Unable to be recovered by Hildebrand. Now, Bowser in control. Bowser up the floor. Covered by Hendricks. Nine seconds left. Van Grunsven wants his chance to set up his own play. Tough to see an empty possession come and go for the Raiders when it's clutch moments like this, but now all they got to do is focus on defense, 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 keep the Old Abes off the line. No easy points here. Got to make the Old Abes earn this win if they're going to do it here. If not, the play's there, make it. It's where heroes come to be born, ladies and gentlemen. It's where heroes are born. For an outsider looking in, it just might be an average game between two Big Rivers Conference rivals, Eau Claire Memorial and Hudson. But senior night for the Raiders, second to last home game. I mean, second to last possible game played ever for a lot of these seniors. It's time for them to lock it down. Van Grunsven once again making full use of his timeout. And the Raiders re-enter the floor. Looks like Meyer's going to be given the inbounds pass. Meyer inbounding. Finds Sampson. 8 seconds and counting. Sampson handing off to Schneider. Schneider stepping in. Finds some space off the glass. No good. Recovered by Matt Barnard. Ball in the possession of the Raiders. The Raiders got a second, folks. One final heave, and that's all that it's going to be. Check that. They're calling a foul. They're calling a foul against Bowser. They're going to put Matt Barnard on the line with 1 second left to go. Oh, my goodness. If there's ever a time to be clutch, Matt, it's now. Holy shnikes. Bowser's not liking the call, but goodness gracious. That's going to be Bowser's 5th foul, so he's going to be replaced by Elliot Van Grunsven. Oh, doggy. Matt Barnard approaches the line on senior night, looking to win this game. Knocks down the first one. 65-64 Raiders. Timeout by the Old Abes. Ice in his veins, Matty Ice and Hudson. Matt Ryan, sorry man, we got a more clutch Matt of our own. This one knows how to come back, how to fight. Student section rather confident right now. Raiders still got a second to finish this game, as well as a second free throw opportunity. Barnard waits for a 2nd to 2. Ball out, gotta shoot. No good as Meyer and the Raiders pull out a W. Senior night brings home the happy vibes as the Raiders pull out a nail-biting 1-point, 65-64 victory. Got to give the team MVP to Matt Barnard. Fans are starting to enter the court to give him some congratulations. I'm going to leave you here, folks. What a win. I'll see you next week, Monday. They're making up a game against Rice Lake. I might not be here. Toby's going to be here for sure. But it's been a joy calling for you if not. Thank you and good night.